It is 8:39 on this Wednesday. Good morning and welcome to Cesar Ranuschio from Body Shop 661. Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good. How you been?
You good?
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
supposed to be here last week, but you lost your voice. What happened?
I went to a wedding, and I was in the wedding, and I talked too much, and I lost my voice, and I was kind of organized stuff, and you know how it goes.
Wait a minute. Caesar talks too much? I've never heard of such a thing. No, we like it. We love you, Caesar. But you are you. I think you talk, not a lot, but you just know what you're talking about, and I think you're passionate. I think you're passionate about what you do, and you know your stuff. So it tends to come out in your attitude, which is great.
My mom says I'm too loud.
I don't know if your mom would like me at all. I might be too loud too.
She's loud too. She's an Italian. You know
There you
how
go.
they are.
There you go. So Caesar, let's
Yes.
talk about your business. Body
Yes.
Shop 661. Lots to talk about this morning. Now we had that big rainstorm.
Yeah.
And there was also some what is it? Sleet, the hail.
Yeah.
Okay, we got
Yeah.
a little bit of that too.
A little bit of that too.
So what happens? Does that actually have an effect on our paint on our cars, or are they the paint? Is it made to
It actually
withstand
does
that?
because, well, I always tell you how important it is to keep it waxed so you see it off. But the paint, you can't tell by looking at it. It's got pores.
Mm-hmm.
So when it rains, the water comes down, and that water and all the dirtiness and everything that was on the car gets into those pores. And that penetrates your paint. Unless you have it waxed or ceramic coated, protected correctly, then it can't get into those little pores. And remember out here we have the, what they call like the acid rain, so you get all those drip marks that dry onto the paint,
Yeah.
Like I said, if you have it protected, then it'll cover it, and like waxed.
Right.
Then it won't allow it to deep in there into those pores. But if you haven't waxed your car all summer, and now it rained,
Yeah.
and now all that stuff that was sitting on there all gets stuck in those little pores. And you imagine, you're going to see it from a distance. So.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. So
Yes.
we clearly I did not have it waxed in time for this last rain.
Yes.
But January is usually rainy season for us. Usually, we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So between now and when it really starts to fall, what do you suggest? Do you suggest a professional wax job, or can we just
I'm
do
going
it?
to do a video. You can do it yourself. It's literally less than 5 pounds of pressure. If you YouTube it, there's a bunch of videos. So what you do is you got to wash it, obviously, and then you put on the wax like they did on the Karate Kid. You remember? Like
Yeah.
wax it on. You leave it for about 4 minutes, depending on how hot it is. If it's cold, maybe a little bit longer. As soon as you're able to wipe your finger and the wax wipes off clean, it's ready to wipe off. And that's it.
Interesting.
You're
Interesting.
done. Yeah,
Okay.
less than 5 pounds of pressure.
Le-
So anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it. We should do it. You recommend it highly.
On the roof, on the top of the doors, the hood and the trunk, that's the most important because we're in the desert. So that gets beat by the sun all day, so that's the most important.
So the wax protects us from the sun as well.
Yeah, of course.
So what about the inside, like the dashboard and stuff? Should we Armor All, or what should we do?
A lot of people don't like using Armor All because the Armor All has got like that thing that makes it shiny. And
Right.
then when it dries up, they feel like it dries it up and makes it crackly.
Oh.
You gotta just keep it nice and clean,
Okay.
Because again, if you let trash and everything soak in there, it messes it up. So I use like a damp rag, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, there's some cleaners that you can use that don't have, that thing to make it shiny.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
because I try to avoid that. A lot of customers don't like that either.
So let's say, hypothetically,
Yes.
wink, wink, that I did not wax the car, and it's showing some signs of we got to redo some stuff here.
Yeah, sometimes you can save it by doing a little bit of clay bar or polishing. The clay bar is like a clay that you wash it off and you rub it on. And when it does, it gets rid of a lot of the stuff that sticks on there, like the wax and stuff. And then you can wax it after that. You don't need a clay bar all the time because the clay bar, every time you do it, it gets rid of like 0.2 of a coat of clear. Okay?
Okay.
So imagine if you're doing it once a month, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, it adds up,
Okay.
But once it's clay barred, then you're good. And that's just to make it smooth again. Because how sometimes you wash your car and you feel it.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
still rough, So that'll take it all off, you know what I mean? And help it. A detailer would do that, if not your car wash where you go,
Right.
They should be able to do that. It's called a clay bar.
What if my not because of rain necessarily, but what if my car needs a new paint job?
Yeah.
How do I go about? Do you do that?
I don't do that many full paints. You know, I do like when your hood and your roof go
Right.
bad. Because to do a complete paint, it's expensive. It's tough. You can't put good paint on top of bad paint. Common sense. So you got to sand all the old paint down to bare metal, seal it, primer it, and then paint it. And then the clear coat, and then we polish, and then buff, you
Got
know?
it.
So it's just a big process. It's kind of like doing an old car, you know?
Okay.
Because you can't put just say if your paint's good, like shiny still a little bit, then you're okay. But if it starts getting faded, all that sucked up water already.
Got it.
And it's got stuff. So after we paint it, and you park it outside, and the motor heats it up, and the sun beats on it, the water starts releasing. And then you get marks, you know, they come up 6 months to a year later. I've been doing this for so long, you know, that I know all the correct processes.
You certainly do. You certainly do.
Yeah.
This morning alone, it's a beautiful day, and I was not expecting it, but this morning alone, I must have read, I don't know, 6 or 7 crashes.
I drove
It
over
was
here.
it was not pleasant this morning, and it wasn't due to wet roads or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just happens at so that's what you specialize in.
Yes.
Fender benders, you know,
Yeah.
crashes, whatever. So this morning, let's say I was one of those unfortunate people who
You
had.
got to make sure you get the right information. I have a post that I can post when I get the interview. I'll post it on my website, and I'll post it on there. You got to have, first of all, you got to take a picture of their driver's license. Okay, you gotta take, nowadays with the phones, everything's so much easier. Because before you had to write everything down, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
exactly.
picture driver's license, picture of their insurance.
Got it.
Even if it's your fault, you want to have it, you know what I mean? So everything's nice and organized. You need to get their license plate number.
Yeah.
Also, where did this happen and what time? Remember, when you get in an accident, your head goes everywhere, you know? So it's important to write all this stuff down, like what street you were on, if you were on the freeway. You know what I mean? You're like, you know,
Just take a picture. Listen.
Yeah, take a picture, or if not, you know, find out where you were going, southbound, eastbound, you know?
Right.
And the time's important because these are all the questions they're going to be asking you. Remember, if you ever want to call me before you call the insurance and talk to me about what happened so I can help you clear your thoughts and everything, I'm especially from the radio station, you know, I'm here to help, you know? And it's very important.
What
so.
is that? So if we have all that information, does that help you get us a quote?
No, it helps you report the claim on the insurance company.
Okay.
Because remember, we need to report it first, and then we'll try to send them a quote. I send quotes with photos, you know, but sometimes they want to come out and look at it. So I want to make sure they have all the details right, you know. And I don't want you to mess up saying something and they try to put you at a percentage responsible.
Right.
You know, I just had a rear ender the other day that I don't know how the customer reported, but he got rear ended. They put the person behind at 80% and they put him at 20%.
I thought that would be 100%.
Yeah, me too. So we're fighting about it now, you know what I mean? And he's talking to his insurance company about it. That's what
I've
the
never
other
heard
insurance
such a thing.
companies-
I heard when I was now. Listen, I've had my driver's license for a couple of years. We're not going to say how long, but when you're taught in driver's ed, and even when you take the test, correct me if I'm wrong, Cesar. Correct me if I'm wrong. The person behind you is always at fault. Like if you
99.9.
Right?
Yeah, just like a left turn. If you're making a left turn, you're going to be at fault, you know what I mean?
It's
or backing up. If you're backing up, and the other person's backing up, that's 50-50. So then they raise both of your insurance though. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm trying to help you, you know? I try to help just so they don't raise the insurance because it's so expensive,
It's
you know?
so crazy expensive.
And then sometimes if you have something little, it's better to come talk to me first. Because what if your deductible's $1,000?
Right.
And I can fix it for a little less, or just $100 more. It's not worth doing a claim because if not, it goes up for 3 years. You know, so that's the important thing.
And Cesar, you bring up a good point because insurance rates are crazy. They're crazy, and we don't want to do anything. We don't want to make those rates go up because that's just it's some of the rates right now for all kinds of insurance are just through the roof.
Yeah.
And so we have to be very, very careful. Cesar, as we wrap up this interview, because I know it goes by real quick, doesn't it?
Quick.
Let's get a website. You said you're going to have some info on there for us. A website.
Yes.
Where can we go?
It's Body Shop bodyshop661.com.
Bodyshop661.com.
Yeah, if you ever want to send me photos, get an estimate, you gotta remember to put the VIN number and the phone and your information so I can call you back. It's Cesar, like Cesar, Cesar, at bodyshop661.com.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can also find me on Facebook under Cesar Ranuschio or Alberto Ranuschio. That was my dad and my middle name, you know?
Okay.
And then I'm going to also post the accident sheet. So that way you can have one in your glove box for your kids, for, you know what I mean?
I was going to say, why don't we
yeah.
print something like that out? So
Yes.
because you're right, when you have, even if it's a fender bender, you know, you get frazzled.
Yeah, you're like all
and if you have
discombobulated.
something right there to go, oh, I got this, I got this, I got this, I get this, we're all set.
Yes, I'll put this interview on my Facebook, and I'll put that right underneath.
Fantastic.
All right.
Cesar Ranuschio from Body Shop 661. Always a pleasure. I don't think you're loud at all. I don't think you're loud at all, sir. I think you're just perfect.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Love to the family, okay?
Thanks.